Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing some wrenching on this little beastie, and this is a Chinese made mini quad bike. It's powered by a 110cc 4-stroke engine. It was kindly given to us by a neighbour of ours whose daughters have outgrown this quad and have moved on to real horsepower, so they've moved into ponies and horses and haven't actually used this quad for about 3 years, I'm led to believe. So we've got a little bit of work to do to get it going today. I'll probably take the carburetor off and flush the fuel tank out and have a look at a couple of things. Now this particular quad was sold in Newcastle in New South Wales, where I am, and it was sold by a company called Marshall Motorsports, which is a motorcycle dealer not too far away. But I have noticed, looking at YouTube videos of similar machines, that it tends to go by the name, I think in the US, of Tao Tao or Tao, and I was worried when it first turned up, because a lot of things with Chinese equipment you have to sort of wonder, well, what sort of spare parts are available. But when I started looking on eBay and Amazon and a couple of the online stores, I found that you can buy everything for these little quads. You can buy all the connections, all the throttle assembly, all the cables, all the lever assemblies, the brake assembly, all the switch gear you can replace. You can get new body kits. This is probably perfect as it is, because my granddaughter does love pink. It's her favourite colour, pink and purple. So that'll be perfect, but you can get replacement body kits. They're like $110 or something to buy a whole new sort of plastic kit, so you can buy those as well. It's quite a sophisticated little quad. I'm quite impressed with it. It's got suspension front and back, so it's got two shocks at the front that run on sort of A-arms down the bottom there. It has brakes in the front. It doesn't drive on the front wheels, it just has a drive on the back. As mentioned, it's got a 110cc engine. It's got an automatic or centrifugal clutch, so you don't have to change gears on it. So kids can basically just get on it. The throttle is here. You just can power that, is the throttle, and you've got a little screw that goes in here, and that's actually a limiting screw, and you can wind that in, and they only get very limited range when they're starting off, and then as they get better at them you can wind that out and you get sort of the full range of the throttle. Brakes obviously here. On the back end you can see that the tyres are great. Like, it hasn't had a lot of wear on the tyres. There doesn't seem to be a lot of wear on there at all. I think they've looked after it very well. They have been inside, so there's no rust on the machine. There's a chain that drives the back axle there. You can see there's a little bit of rust on that rear disc, but that'll come off. Rear shock absorber. Twin exhausts on the back. It's pretty cool. And I have noticed there's a couple of loose wires here, which I think probably go to the brake light, which I may have to fix. And there's a lanyard thing on the back, which is like a parental lanyard engine cut-off switch, so you can walk behind at a distance, if you like, while they're learning to ride the quad, and then you can pull that and that comes off and that kills the engine and the quad stops. And I've also noticed on the front here that there's like a key fob control here that's got buttons on it, and I think you can actually do the same with that. You can actually press a button and it stops the quad. So and I've got keys for it, which is great. That's a big plus as well. So I don't think there's a lot to do, but there's a little bit to do, and I'm a bit under the pump because my granddaughter's birthday is coming up in a couple of days, and I'd like to get it going. So thank you very much to our kind neighbours who are thinking about us to do that. And I haven't only got this one, I've also got another one over here. So I've got two pink quads, so I might have to do something with this one for the grandson, but we might put a different plastic body kit on that and put a green one or a matte black or something and jazz that one up a little bit. Alright, so let's get some spanners, some screwdrivers, and we'll get in and have a bit of a look about this and see what we can find to get it going. Well, I've got the body off the top there, so now I can have a good look around to see how it is. And I've got to say, I think it's in pretty good shape. I might just give it a bit of a pressure wash just to take some of the dust off here. I think I'll take the carburetor off here and have a look down in the fuel bowl here and just see what's sitting in there. I'll take the plug out and I'll give it a quick compression test once I can turn it over and see what the compression's like. I'm pretty confident that it's all going to be okay. This is the electronic starter, so these little quads don't have a Kickstarter. You have to use the electric start, so the battery's got to be good. So I've got that charging up now, and yeah, well, that's all pretty good. Front suspension there. And over there. Yeah, that all looks good. All right, so I might give it a quick wash, I think. Okay. I don't think there's any fuel in here because it's been sitting for so long. I would think probably all of the fuel has evaporated, but it'd be interesting to see how clean the bottom is. Try and keep the gasket there. Yep. So there's a little bit of sludge in there, but not much. It's pretty good. Giving that a shot of carby cleaner just to clean that up, and then I'll blow a bit of air through the main jets here just to make sure, but it looks really clean, like there's nothing wrong with it at all, I don't think. As you can see down there, but there's actually a clear passage. Okay, I've just put my fuel tank back on there. I cleaned it out, I gave it a bit of a flush, but it was really clean, so I don't think it had a lot of fuel stored in it. I've connected all that back up to the carburetor and put a new inline fuel filter on. I've just got my battery hooked up here for the minute. I've just had it on charge for a couple of hours, and what I want to try and do is see if I can actually start this thing. I'll just check what the oil level is. Yep, that's okay. It's a little black, but it'll do for the minute. So that's good. Start, you've got to hold the brake on and okay, I think the next thing I'll do is I want to take this wheel off and just have a look at the brakes behind here, and also just have a look at this suspension. What I do notice is that I can't see any grease points on any of these moving joints there, and I just wonder what they do there, whether they just put some sort of lubricant in from the factory and then you leave it. I'm not too sure, but yeah, let's get this tyre off and have a look behind there. Well, that all looks nice and clean, doesn't it? Don't think I've got to do much there. I suppose I could just put a bit of brake clean on it just to get rid of some of the brake dust, but that's all good. Let's look at the hub. And these have a sealed bearing inside of them, and the inside there is still fine. I can still see the machine marks on there, so that's all good. I think this really hasn't done much work, this quad, and it's been looked after for what it has done. Oh, that's tight. It's got like locking nuts or something on there, which is probably good. I mean, it's not going to come undone. I don't think it's a nylock. I think it's one of those ones with the metal tabs in there that lock into the thread and make it stay on. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's one of those ones with the tabs at the top there. Now what I'm interested to see is just what is in here, where it looks like it's just all a nylon bush is the only thing there by the looks of it. And I might just put a bit of grease in there and put it back in, I think. Just use a little bit of black moly grease. So it looks like they don't have a grease point on it as such, and they just rely on the nylon bush. And it seems to be all right, but I think it would probably be a wear item. So it's probably not ideal. If you had one of these for a long time, you'd probably have to just pull out these nylon bushes that are in the bottom here and then put new ones in if you can get them. Okay, well I've done this bottom one, and what I'll do now is I'll just crack on and do these other points. So there's a pivot point at the top of the arm here, and then top and bottom of the A-arm. So I'll just do those the same way. Put a little bit of grease on them. Probably doesn't need it because it's got this nylon bush, but might as well do it while I'm at this stage anyway. Now this is the rear caliper here, and I'm just going to take the calipers off and just see how much pad we have left. I'm pretty sure it'll be okay, but it's easy enough just to check it, I think. If I just take these bolts out, there's one at the top here. Okay, there are the pads for the rear disc, and they seem to have a bit of meat left in them, so I think I'll just leave those well enough alone. I think they'll be fine. I'll just try and clean some of this rust off here, off the disc. Just got a very fine grade wet and dry sandpaper. Okay, I'm still looking at the back here, and one thing I've just noticed is the adjustment here. And what this is these two nuts here, you tighten these up and it takes the adjustment on the chain, takes the slack out of the chain. But what I've noticed is, I don't know whether you can see it on the camera, that this one here is a bit closer in than this one here, and I'm just wondering whether that means that the axle is not quite square anymore. So what I might do is just loosen these two bolts off here, and there's two underneath, and just to play around with these adjusters just to try and get them equal. The chain itself is probably could tension up a little bit, and I've also noticed that the guard here, which stops the chain oil spraying all over you, is completely loose. It's not actually attached, and there's a tab there and another tab underneath somewhere, so I'll have to get some bolts and try and put that on as well. Okay, that guard's back on. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to now oil the chain. I haven't got any proper chain lube, so I'm just using some ADW90 gear oil. It will fly off, but it'll be alright for a while. Now I have noticed that when I have the handlebars in the correct position, which is pointing straight, I do notice that the front wheels are a little bit skewed out, like they're a little bit towed out, I think, on the front, and I'm just going to adjust that by altering down here on this adjustable tie rod here. And I'm just going to really do it by eye, but also use, I've just got a straight edge here, and if I put the straight edge across the tyre like that, you can see that on the back there's a space there and there isn't a space there. So I think what I need to do is just give this a bit of adjustment and see if I can get it to toe in a little bit. Okay, I think I've done that. Now the width of the track on the front wheels is wider than the width on the back, so the front wheels stick out a little bit more. But now if I put my straight edge on there and then come to the back, I can see I've now got an even gap there to the wheel, and so now they should be pointing a bit straighter. It's probably a better idea to actually do this on the ground when the weight has compressed the suspension a little bit, so I might just give that a quick check when it's back on the ground. So I can't get the front headlight to work, and I'm just checking the actual connection here, and I can see that it works there on high and low beam. But the problem must be in the headlight.
So this is the headlight, and I'm looking at the back here, and I think the problem is going to be in the back of this switch here, and all in there is wrong. There's a couple of wires, but there's no way that it's going to make contact correctly into there. So really don't know how to fix that. I might even have to pay my $13 and buy a whole new headlight, I think, to make it working. Anyway, that's not important at the minute, so we'll put it back together as it is and get a new headlight in due course, I think. Okay, well, I think I've almost done as much as I can underneath. So what I think I'll do is put the body back on it, and then I can get it back down on the ground and do an oil change. Okay, hopefully this is the last job, and this is to just change the oil out here and put some fresh oil in. Black goo. It's very black. Now this is the oil I picked up to put in the Mini Quad. It's a proper motorcycle 4-stroke oil. It's a synthetic oil, a 10W40 weight oil. I was just going to put in some Castrol engine oil that I had left over from the car, and the guy in the bike shop was saying that the engine oil for cars has friction modifiers in them, and they aren't so good for the wet clutches in a motorcycle case. So that sort of made perfect sense to me when I sort of thought about it, so I'm going to stick some of this in. So this particular little dipstick you have to screw in. They all seem to be a bit different. Some you have to screw them in and some you don't have to screw them in. This one you have to screw in. That's about it, actually. Well, I'm pretty happy with how today has gone, and now I'm pretty confident that mechanically the quad is going to start and run okay and also stop okay. Now, the other thing that I did get for my granddaughter was a new helmet that she can wear while she's riding the quad. And unfortunately, the only one that I could get locally was a matte black helmet, and that's certainly not her favourite colours of pink and purple. So what I'm going to do is duck back into my sign shop and just put on some custom graphics. need some stars, I think, so I'll just cut a few stars.
What do you think we're doing?
Are your favourite colours, pink and purple? I think they are.
Yep.
And we're going to open this door and see what's inside. Ready? You come over here and open the door with me.
Close my eyes. Do you want me to hold your biscuit? Yeah.
Here we go.
What is it?
Wait, it's two.
There's two.
Two.
Wow.
1, 2.
That's cool.
Whoa. Can I hop on it?
You can hop on it.
Can I drive it?
Oh, we'll have to show you how to drive it, won't we?
But can you show me?
Is that cool?
What is that? Whoa!
You get Mum to help you.
Oh, what? Lily, look, it's got your name on it. Ready? Hang on, hold it. I'll take a photo of you. Ready?
Wait, like this?
Yeah.
Oh, Sammy's on already.
So cool.